Imagine waking up every day knowing that, well, every single decision, no matter how small, it's costing you more, simply because you have less. It's a concept that feels, I don't know, inherently unfair, right? Almost paradoxical. Yet, the sources we've been looking at today, they unveil a truth so stark, it might just change how you see economic struggle forever.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're diving into the hidden cost of being broke. The material we've been sifting through, everything from economic studies to behavioral psychology research, it makes a really compelling case. Being broke isn't just about lacking money, it's about paying a premium for life itself.
Yeah, it's a truly counterintuitive idea, isn't it? What's fascinating is how our sources consistently reveal that financial constraint, it isn't merely a passive state like just lacking resources. No, it's more like an active, almost systemic force that actually drives up costs in incredibly unexpected ways. It's this cycle that, for those with fewer resources, it seems almost designed to extract even more from them in the long run, often without them even realizing the full extent of it. So what does this all mean for you listening right now? Well, our mission today is to, thoroughly unpack this idea. We're going to examine some concrete examples pulled directly from the research we read and really see how this concept of expensive poverty impacts everything from your everyday shopping choices, your long-term health, even your peace of mind. Get ready for some surprising facts and hopefully a whole new perspective. Okay, let's jump right into this. There's a core pattern our sources highlight, what we're calling the trap of buying cheap. When you're broke, you often don't buy the best option. I mean, how could you? You buy the cheapest. It feels like survival. Think about something really basic, like footwear. Our research uses this example a lot. You need new shoes, your budget is tight, so you grab that, really cheap pair for maybe 20 bucks. Feels like a smart move at the time, right? An immediate win.
And that's exactly the insidious part of it, because that initial win is, well, in reality, what our sources define as a false economy. It's that sneaky cycle where trying to save money up front inevitably costs you more down the line. So that cheap pair, maybe it wears out in 6 months, the stitching goes, the sole detaches, they just fall apart.
Right. Happens all the time.
So you're back at the store buying another cheap pair and then maybe another one after that. Our sources actually reveal a surprising statistic here. Consumers in the lowest income brackets, they spend on average something like 15% more of their disposable income on footwear over 5 years compared to those in the highest bracket.
Wow, 15% more.
Exactly. And it's precisely because they might lack access to stores selling durable goods, or maybe they just can't afford that initial higher price for quality. It forces them into these frequent replacement cycles.
That's a really powerful point. But I imagine some listeners might be thinking, okay, but what choice do I have if I literally only have $20 for shoes right now?
Yeah.
I mean, what do the sources say about navigating that immediate pressing need versus the long-term trap?
Well, it's precisely that immediate pressure that defines the trap. That's the core of it. The sources really emphasize this isn't about a moral failing, not at all. It's a direct consequence of extreme scarcity. When every single dollar is already allocated to an immediate need, rent, food, utilities, there's just no room left for strategic long-term investment thinking.
Yeah, you can't plan ahead.
Right. The decision isn't really buy good shoes or bad shoes. It's more like buy these shoes or go without shoes. And that kind of short-term thinking isn't really a choice. It's a necessity born out of constraint. And this isn't just shoes, obviously. This pattern, it applies everywhere. Kitchen appliances that break down way too soon, tools that need constant replacement.
Right. Cheap toaster lasts a year, maybe.
Exactly. The immediate relief of that low price tag, it often completely overshadows any calculation of the true cost over time. Because honestly, that long-term calculation feels impossible, even irrelevant when you're just trying to make it to next week.
And this cycle, this false economy, it isn't just confined to physical goods, is it? Our research shows it extends into an even more critical area, one that's often kind of invisible, our health. The documents we explored really highlight that when you're broke, you often don't invest in your health. And this becomes a truly enormous hidden cost. You might grab fast food, not just because it's affordable, quote unquote, but often because it's the quickest, easiest thing when you're exhausted. Maybe from juggling multiple jobs or responsibilities, or you just don't have the time or energy to cook something healthier.
Exactly. Time poverty is a huge factor there, too.
And that gym membership, even if it's just, say, $30 or $40 a month, it feels like an impossible luxury. So you skip it. You tell yourself you can't afford it.
And this perceived saving by, well, neglecting your health, it leads to significant, often hidden costs down the line. Our sources point this out very clearly. One study mentioned diet-related illnesses alone contribute to, I think it was over 30% of all healthcare costs in the U.S.
30%? Wow.
Yeah. So cheap, less nutritious food combined with maybe a more sedentary lifestyle because you can't afford recreation or you're too tired, over time, that can lead to chronic health issues. We're
Hmm.
talking diabetes, heart disease, obesity, which in turn generates substantial medical bills.
Oh, absolutely.
Repeated doctor visits, expensive medications, maybe even hospital stays, surgeries. These are costs that can absolutely decimate a household budget. They can push families even deeper into financial distress.
It really is a compounding effect, isn't it? That $40 a month gym membership,
Yeah.
the one that felt so out of reach before. Suddenly it looks like maybe the best deal of your life when you compare it to the potential health costs and financial fallout later on. Our sources really hammer this home, that proactive investment in health is one of the clearest examples of paying more to be broke.
Hmm.
But it's not just the direct medical bills either, right? Skipping exercise, eating poorly, that also cost you years of energy, focus,
Yes.
and can significantly reduce your productivity at work, which then impacts your income potential. It's like a drain on your human capital.
Exactly right. That proactive choice to invest in health isn't just about feeling good or well-being. It's actually a profound financial strategy. It's risk mitigation. It's about trying to avoid much larger, often catastrophic expenses in the future. And the thing is, those who are already struggling financially are precisely the ones least equipped to handle unexpected medical costs.
Yeah, the worst possible timing.
It creates this vicious cycle where poor health makes poverty worse, and poverty makes poor health worse. The material we reviewed shows this also contributes to things like higher absenteeism from work, reduced cognitive function, even a diminished capacity for problem solving, all of which directly undermine your ability to improve your financial situation.
Okay, and then there's another critical point, one that, gosh, so many people find themselves caught in, often without even realizing how deep the hole is getting. I'm talking about the debt trap. Our sources describe this cycle so vividly, citing numerous cases of people caught in the grip of high-interest borrowing. We're talking payday loans, credit cards with just punitive rates, those minimum payments that feel like you're surviving, but actually they're financial suicide in the long run. You're just barely keeping your head above water, but you're actually sinking deeper every single month.
Hmm. And this raises a really important question, doesn't it, about the true cost of credit and, frankly, who really benefits from this system. Our sources highlighted, I think it was a recent report, showing the average APR for a typical 2-week payday loan. It hovers around 400%.
400%. It's hard to even wrap your head around that number.
It really is. Let that sink in. 400%. That's not just insane, it's effectively an invisible tax on your future earnings. So while wealthier individuals can leverage money, maybe borrowing at low interest rates for investments, making their capital work for them, generating more wealth, the person who's broke is often forced to essentially rent money at these astronomical rates just to cover basic needs: food, rent, and unexpected car repair.
It's just an astronomical difference, isn't it? When you're constantly paying that kind of high interest just to make ends meet, you're basically paying these exorbitant fees just to access your own future earnings. It really is like running on a treadmill that's going faster than you can keep up, and every single step costs you more than it should.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
The interest alone can just wipe out any gains you make, or even create a deficit faster than you can possibly earn your way out of it. You're perpetually playing catch-up, and the game feels undeniably rigged against you. Some sources even drew parallels to, like, historical usury, pointing out how little the fundamental dynamic has actually changed, just the mechanisms look different now.
Absolutely. The broke individual gets caught in this cycle where a huge portion of their income is just funneled directly into interest payments. It's money that's not going towards savings or investments or even just improving their quality of life in small ways. This fundamentally prevents them from building any kind of financial cushion, any safety net, or ever getting to a point where they can leverage money for growth themselves.
Right.
It really underscores the inherent unfairness of the system.
Hmm.
Access to affordable credit is so often predicated on already having wealth, which makes it incredibly difficult for those without it to ever break free. And the costs, they're not just monetary, they're also in the lost opportunity for future prosperity and that immense psychological burden of constant financial precarity.
And that leads us to perhaps the most profound and honestly quite heartbreaking cost our sources uncovered, which is that invisible drain, the drain on your mental energy, your peace of mind. When you're broke, every single decision costs you mental energy. You're not just spending money. You're spending your focus, your capacity for joy, your cognitive bandwidth. You're stressed about every single bill, every grocery trip, every unexpected problem, no matter how small it seems. It's like running this constant, really complex mental algorithm in the background all day, every day, just to keep your head above water.
Yeah. And zooming out, the broader implication here is that this is where the true value of wealth really shines through. It's not just about stuff. Wealth buys freedom. It buys time. It buys the ability to say no to something without panicking about the consequences.
Hmm. That's huge.
Our sources suggest that this constant mental strain isn't just, unpleasant. It's a huge hidden cost that directly impacts your decision-making abilities, your productivity, your overall well-being. Think of it like a cognitive tax. There's research cited in our material, particularly studies on what they call scarcity mentality. It shows that this constant stress can actually reduce an individual's effective IQ, maybe by as much as 13 points temporarily.
13 points.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which makes it incredibly difficult to make optimal decisions or seek out new opportunities or even just plan effectively for the future.
You can almost feel that, can't you? I mean, even thinking about my own grocery trips, if I'm just slightly stressed about something else, it drains me. I can only imagine what it's like when every single item is a calculation for survival.
Mm.
From, can you afford enough milk for the week to can the heating stay on?
Yeah.
That constant mental calculation, that ever-present anxiety, it's just exhausting. It robs you of your mental bandwidth. It prevents you from focusing on things like maybe career advancement or learning new skills or honestly just enjoying your life. You end up paying with your time, your emotional resilience, and ultimately your peace of mind.
Mm-hmm.
It becomes this self-perpetuating cycle where the lack of funds leads to stress, which impairs your decision-making, which then makes it even harder to escape the financial crunch.
Exactly. Wealth, on the other hand, it allows for a certain level of cognitive ease. The ability to not have to constantly worry about basic necessities frees up so much mental space. Space for creativity, for problem solving, for long-term strategic thinking. And this isn't just about luxury living. It's about having the basic mental capacity to thrive rather than just constantly struggling to survive. That invisible cost of constant stress and worry is profound. It affects everything from your sleep quality to your relationships and ultimately your ability to earn and save. It truly is the most expensive way to live because it costs you your future potential.
So what does this all mean? Where does this leave us? Our deep dive into the hidden cost of being broke really shows us, I think, that being broke isn't free at all. It's actually the most costly lifestyle. It's expensive in ways we often don't even consider, from those tangible costs like constantly replacing cheap goods or racking up medical bills, to the invisible yet profoundly damaging drain on your mental and emotional resources. It's like a continuous, insidious tax on those who can least afford it, perpetuating a cycle that's just incredibly difficult to break.
Which raises, I think, an important question for you, our listener, and this comes directly from the source material we looked at. If you're feeling this kind of financial pressure, our sources offer a really crucial shift in mindset. Don't just think about surviving day to day. That's the trap. Instead, they encourage us to start actively thinking about escaping this trap of expensive poverty. The core message is really clear. Don't chase cheap.
Instead, chase freedom. It's about recognizing these often hidden costs we've talked about, and then trying to make conscious choices, even small ones, to break the cycle. So the challenge our sources leave us with is this. What's one small quality investment you could potentially make? Maybe it's in a durable product that truly lasts. Maybe it's in your health through slightly better food or finding ways to move regularly. Or maybe it's even in your knowledge, gaining a new skill. What's one thing that can save you far more money and stress in the long run? Something to think about. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.